Chosen one, you should have been silent, but you spoke too soon. This message is a mirror. This message is a fire. This message is a divine interruption to your thoughts. There's a reason you felt compelled to be here right now. There's a reason your spirit paused everything else. Because something bigger is unfolding. A lesson, a pivot, a revelation. This isn't just about words. This is about alignment, about destiny, about divine timing being interrupted by human impulse. Something happened when you spoke too soon. You felt it. You knew it. And this message is confirmation that what seemed like a small moment was actually a major one. A shift, a test, a divine checkpoint. And now you're about to see what happens next and why it had to happen this way. Watch this video until the very end, because what you're about to hear could change everything. And write your warmest wishes in the comments, and write Amen along with the number 777. When you do, you're not just typing. You're aligning with the frequency of manifestation. You're energizing the universe. You're stepping into agreement with the divine timing that's chasing after you, ready to correct what was prematurely revealed, ready to restore what was spoken too soon, ready to reward what was hidden too long. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You weren't wrong to feel what you felt. Let's start there. The vision was real. The intuition was real. The download from above, it was accurate. But the delivery was premature. The soil hadn't formed. The rain hadn't fallen. The stage wasn't set. But you, chosen one, spoke anyway. Out of excitement, out of hope, maybe even out of pain. Because when something that big burns in your chest, the pressure to release it feels uncontainable. But here's what was happening behind the scenes. God wasn't just preparing the promise. He was preparing the moment. And you rushed it. The world didn't know how to hold what you said. They didn't understand it because they weren't meant to. Yet. What you thought was transparency, they interpreted as arrogance. What you hoped would inspire, they turned into gossip. What you thought would activate support ended up exposing hearts that weren't for you in the first place. The moment you opened your mouth, warfare intensified. You saw eyes shift. You felt the energy change. And God didn't punish you. He protected you. But He also showed you something. Timing isn't just important. Timing is sacred. You weren't supposed to explain it yet. You weren't supposed to share the blueprint. You weren't supposed to reveal the depth of your assignment. Not because it wasn't powerful, but because it was still vulnerable. Like a seed underground. Like a vision still forming. It needed quiet. It needed shadow. It needed stillness. And now, you're walking through the part no one talks about. The aftermath of speaking too soon. The strange silence. The weird delays. The closed doors. The people who suddenly went cold. But even in this, God is still speaking. He's showing you who was never ready. Who was never aligned. Who was only around when your silence served their comfort. Now your voice shook the atmosphere. And some people left. But that's not your loss. That's your liberation. You're not being punished. You're being recalibrated. God is drawing you back into the womb of preparation, not to silence you forever, but to make your next release undeniable, strategic, anointed, backed by heaven in a way that no one can question. But first, He's teaching you how to guard your words like gates. Some things can't be said until you've passed through the fire, until you've been refined in the silence, until you've learned how to carry something heavy without announcing it. That's where you are now. You're in the divine classroom of discretion, where every sentence costs something, where every word carries weight, where speaking isn't for validation, it's for release. for assignment, for timing. You're learning how to sit with a secret so sacred that even your closest circle can't hold it. And that's okay, because God can. Remember how you used to share too much out of excitement? That's changing now. That version of you is fading. Not because you've become colder, but because you've become wiser, sharper, more aligned. You're stepping into a realm where power isn't always loud, where silence becomes your sword, where presence speaks louder than paragraphs. And those who didn't understand your silence before will soon be shocked by the results of it, because what's coming next will make it undeniable that your quiet season was a power move. This isn't about shame. This is about power. This is about divine refinement. You're being taught by heaven how to hold sacred things with sacred hands, how to protect the blueprint until the structure is built, how to move in silence until the time is announced. And when that time comes, you'll speak again, but it will be different. It will be weightier. It will be covered. It will be holy. And no one will be able to stop what God puts behind your voice when it's finally time to speak again. Not even the ones who tried to kill it the first time. Until then, let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them misinterpret your quiet. Because the ones who walk with God know this. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. It's strength. It's spiritual warfare. And right now, God is teaching you to master it. You're not being punished. You're being sharpened. And soon, the words that once leaked too early will return. But this time, as weapons, as doors, as commands, as keys to destiny. And when that happens, you'll know. It had to happen this way. You had to speak too soon, so you could learn the art of waiting. You felt the shift immediately, didn't you? The moment the words left your mouth, the atmosphere responded. There was no thunder, no lightning. But something shifted in the spirit. Something fragile was exposed before it had its armor. And what you thought would open doors ended up inviting resistance. Not because you were wrong, but because it wasn't the right moment. Because spiritual things, when spoken too early, can attract battles they weren't yet equipped to survive. This is not the end of your story. This is the quiet chapter. The one where the lesson becomes clear and the soul learns patience. God has not changed his mind about you. He has not withdrawn the promise. He's refining your character to match the weight of the calling. Because with each level of glory, the room gets quieter. The air gets thinner. And only those who can protect the sacred survive the silence. Chosen one, you're learning how to breathe in silence, how to move without echo, how to be loud in results and silent in strategy. This is the making of a master, one who no longer spills miracles before they're mature, one who knows when to speak and when to guard. You're being formed into someone who doesn't chase validation with words, but who commands respect through presence. There was a time when you needed people to understand you, to clap for your process, to affirm what you felt. That time is gone. Now your silence is a sanctuary. It's a shield. It's a gate between your soul and the noise of those who weren't assigned to hear your vision anyway. They weren't supposed to understand. They weren't supposed to validate it. And now that they've walked away, you see it clearly. You were never meant to impress them. You were meant to outgrow them. That's what silence does. It doesn't just protect you, it propels you. And now, as the days pass, you're starting to hear things differently. You're starting to see how your past need to speak came from a deeper wound, a desire to be seen, a hunger to be known, a fire to be understood. But now, you realize something far greater. God saw you the whole time. He knew, and he was waiting for you to know it too. You don't have to speak to be seen. You don't have to announce to be affirmed. Heaven knows your name, and your silence is echoing through realms louder than any sentence ever could. You're being promoted through quiet, elevated through discretion, advanced through stillness, and no one can trace what God is doing in your life, because He cloaked it for your protection. What's unfolding now is bigger than their opinions. It's deeper than their doubt. It's louder than their silence, because the next time you speak, it will be undeniable. It will carry divine timing like thunder. It will shake things, shift things, seal things. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are being aligned, recalibrated, tuned into a frequency that doesn't need to broadcast to be heard. Sometimes God hides you in silence to preserve what's holy, because there are some things too sacred for surface ears. You've seen that now. You've lived it. And as a result, you've been upgraded, spiritually matured, no longer craving noise, no longer needing crowds. You've become a vault for heaven's secrets. And when it's time to speak again, it will be not from a place of excitement, but from authority. Authority doesn't beg to be heard. Authority walks in and changes the energy. That's who you're becoming. You're walking through a process that teaches you how to let people assume while God affirms. How to sit in silence while the spiritual realm rearranges everything on your behalf. You're learning that sometimes the most powerful move is to say nothing and let the outcome speak. Remember the moments when you tried to explain your calling and were met with blank stares? That wasn't rejection. That was redirection. God was teaching you not to pour oil into cracked vessels, to stop giving royal language to those who only spoke in doubt. And now, your circle may be smaller. Your words may be fewer, but your vision is clearer than ever. You can feel it, can't you? Something is building, quietly, powerfully, without needing to be announced. There's a spiritual construction zone around your life. Foundations are being set in secret. Walls are rising behind the curtain. And one day soon, what's been forming in silence will be revealed in power. And when it does, you'll know that every quiet day was part of the blueprint. There's a holy hush around you now. It's not empty. It's pregnant, full of purpose, full of preparation. You're no longer chasing confirmation. You're walking in revelation. And the next words you speak will not be rushed. They will be prophetic. They will be placement. They will be release. Until then, sit with God. Let Him shape your voice. Let Him teach your spirit. Let Him pour into the version of you that no one sees. Yet, what you carry is heavy. What you've seen is sacred. And not everyone was meant to hear it. That's why God is reminding you. This time, you must be silent until the moment He says now. And when that moment comes, you'll know. Because everything will align. The doors will open. The atmosphere will respond. And your voice will no longer be early. It will be right on time. You've been misread before, labeled before, misunderstood for the very gift that was placed inside you from above. When you spoke too soon, it wasn't because you were trying to impress. It was because the vision burned so brightly inside you. It demanded release. But what you didn't know then was this. Premature exposure leads to spiritual interference. And you weren't being ignored. You were being intercepted. God let you speak that day, not to harm you, but to teach you. He let your words go forward so He could show you how dangerous it is to unwrap a sacred thing in a hostile environment. What was meant to be received with reverence was thrown into the pit of public interpretation. And now you understand. Some things are too holy for wide eyes, too divine for open ears. Some revelations must remain sealed until their season has fully arrived. You've been in hiding since then, not physically, but spiritually. You felt a pulling inward, a retreat, not out of fear, but out of divine instinct. Something in you knows the silence isn't punishment, it's protection. You've grown quieter, more reflective, more intentional. Not because you lost confidence, but because you gained understanding. You don't need to convince anymore. You don't need to announce. You've learned how to guard the gold. It wasn't just that you spoke too soon. It's that you didn't realize how rare what you carried was. And now you see it. You feel the weight of it, the responsibility, the sacredness. It's no longer about being first to say it. It's about being prepared to carry it when it arrives. And for that, God has pulled you close, into the classroom of silence, into the sanctuary of solitude, into the furnace of spiritual precision. No crowd can affirm what only God can anoint. No applause can validate what was whispered to you in the dark. That's why the silence has lasted this long. Because God wanted you to stop looking for confirmation from people who don't even carry your frequency. You were asking questions to the wrong audience, and their confusion made you question your clarity, but not anymore. Now, your clarity is rooted in something deeper, something unshakable. You've stopped explaining. You've stopped oversharing. You've stopped watering down your power just to be palatable. And in doing so, you've become dangerous to the enemy. Because a chosen one who no longer needs to be understood is a chosen one who is finally ready to be used. What you feel now, the urge to stay silent, the instinct to protect, the quiet conviction building in your chest, that's not fear. That's God's hand on your mouth, whispering, "Not yet." That's heaven holding back the release for just a little longer, so that when the moment comes, nothing can stop it. Not jealousy, not interference, not opinion, not even your own doubt. Because by then, you will have outgrown every version of yourself that once rushed the promise. The silence is sacred ground now. You feel it when you wake up. You feel it when you pray. You feel it in conversations you no longer entertain. There's a depth forming in you that doesn't require noise. A strength building that doesn't need attention. Your inner world is louder than the outer one. And that's how you know you've shifted. You don't talk about the vision anymore. You live in it. You don't tell them what's coming. You prepare for it. You don't ask for alignment. You attract it. Because now your energy is aligned with divine timing. And timing is everything. You see now why the early announcement triggered warfare. Why speaking before birthing can cause spiritual contractions that weren't meant to begin yet. But now you've matured. You're being retrained in the rhythm of heaven. You'll speak again, but not from desperation, not from excitement, not from pain. You'll speak when heaven opens the door, and the moment itself will invite your voice. You won't have to force it. You won't have to overthink it. It will be instinctual, timed, covered. And when you speak again, the shift will be global. Not because you shouted, but because God thundered through you. Every silent day since then has been building something. Inside you, around you, above you. Angels have been stationed. Doors have been rearranged. Conversations have been redirected. And while you felt forgotten, God was forming your future in silence. Every quiet day was a seed. Every withheld word was a brick. And now, the structure is almost complete. You're closer than you think, closer than you feel. The next time you open your mouth in purpose, the very sound will echo with supernatural authority. And those who once doubted will stand in awe, not of you, but of the God who trusted you to carry silence like a sword. You've been walking through a season where very little makes noise, but everything is moving. It's the paradox of divine construction. The silence you feel on the outside isn't the absence of activity. It's the sign that God is working in a realm too deep for sound. You can't see the wiring. You can't feel the foundation. But something massive is taking shape under the surface. Something long awaited. Something heaven approved. This is the reason why the silence had to come. Why the voice that once shouted your truth now holds its breath. Because if God let you continue speaking, You would have spoken yourself out of places he was trying to position you into. Not out of malice, but out of eagerness. You would have handed the blueprint to those who never planned to help you build. You would have given access to those only meant to observe from a distance. And that's not how divine architecture works. Chosen one, you must understand. When you spoke too soon, it wasn't a loss. It was a lesson, a necessary checkpoint. And now that you've learned it, the silence has shifted from being heavy to being holy. You're no longer questioning it. You're resting in it, letting it reshape your posture, your priorities, your perception. Because in this quiet season, you've started to hear things you couldn't before. God's voice, your true voice, the rhythm of destiny. There's a maturity rising inside of you that only silence could produce. A knowing that doesn't require validation, a faith that doesn't beg for visibility. This is what elevation feels like. It's not loud, it's layered, it's measured, it's divine. And that's what's happening to you now. You're being measured for the mantle, not based on how well you speak, but how deeply you can carry what's sacred without leaking it. Some people left during this time. Let them. Some opportunities paused. Let them. You're not being buried. You're being planted. And there's a huge difference. Buried things are forgotten. Planted things are hidden for a purpose. You're under divine soil right now. Being watered. Being rooted. Being readied. And when you reemerge, it will be impossible to deny that your silence wasn't stillness. It was strategy. Every moment you stayed quiet was a brick in the structure God is raising around you. Protection has been built. Discernment has been strengthened. Vision has been fine-tuned. This isn't the season of performance. It's the season of positioning. And you're almost there. You can feel it. The frequency is shifting. The pressure is rising. The time is nearing. Not for you to speak just anything, but to speak what's been refined in fire. Because what's coming isn't just for your voice, it's for your authority. And authority must be earned in the shadows. It must be forged in quiet obedience, and that's what you've done. You've said yes when no one saw. You've held your tongue when your heart was breaking. You've honored the secret even when it cost you connection. That's rare. That's holy. And heaven saw it all. Soon, the silence will end. Not because you force it, but because God lifts it. And when that divine embargo breaks, you'll feel it. A release will hit your spirit, and the words that come out of you won't be planned. They'll be prophetic. They'll sound different, carry different weight, shift different atmospheres. Because this time, your voice will be carrying the full maturity of what you've survived in secret. And what will flow from you won't just be testimony. It will be territory. Your words will claim ground, open doors, send signals to those who were assigned to walk with you but couldn't hear you until now. There are people waiting for your voice on the other side of this silence, but they can't hear the old you. They're tuned into a frequency that only the matured version of you can reach. And that version is rising now. Stay close to the quiet. You're not waiting for things to begin. You're preparing for them to be revealed.